Welcome to the Resilient Woman Leadership Podcast, where professionally minded women explore the art of grounding into the powerful foundation that makes us resilient leaders in business and in life. I'm your host, Kathryn Regganie, and I believe that when we women connect deeply with our truest selves, we can collectively shift our leadership culture towards compassion, cohesion, and true creativity. Have you ever hit a wall so hard in your career that you felt like you couldn't move forward anymore? That was me. Burnt out, overwhelmed, and stuck in the endless grind of corporate life that eventually cost me my marriage. But hitting that wall taught me how to reclaim my power, find my resilience, and redefine success on my own terms. In this episode, I'm sharing 3 key lessons that helped me not only recover, but thrive after corporate burnout. I want to give you some practical tools and insights that you can apply to your own journey, whether you're navigating burnout or simply looking to create a healthier, more empowered way of leading. The first is taking some time to heal. Prioritize yourself and calm your system. When I was at my breaking point, I realized that my body was giving me all of the warning signs. Fatigue, chronic stress, physical symptoms, like for me, it was not being able to keep food down and not being able to sleep. Of course, I ignored them for quite some time until people really started asking me questions about my weight specifically. And then I knew people are noticing and I had better take control and take care of myself again. I remember one evening going out with some friends to an amazing dinner, and as we were finishing up with dinner, I felt nauseous, so I went into the bathroom, emptied the contents of my stomach, and my friend came in and started asking me about what was going on. We had a conversation. I assured her that it was not my intention to be throwing up, but it was happening. And we sat down and finished our dinner together. But I also noticed that another friend of mine would come over quite often, several times a week, to check on me and make sure that I was eating and open my cupboards and refrigerator to make sure I actually had food in there. And it wasn't because I didn't want to eat. It's really because I couldn't keep things down. So I started really looking at what I was eating and took it really, really slow. And I realized my biggest breakthrough was when I really started to discover the power of my physical body and how to reclaim it, how to calm it down and listen to what it was telling me. And like I said, that even meant taking some time to decide what food my stomach was going to accept for now. And then I started getting into some really simple practices, like just taking some quality time for myself, taking some deep breaths, and even for me, physical exercise, going for a walk, going to the gym, something even just gentle, really helped me calm my system down enough so that I could focus on my work again and focus on my healing process. Please understand that burnout is not just mental, it's physical. Your nervous system needs to recover before you can make any meaningful change in your life. It just starts small. Take 5 minutes. Take the time it takes for you to drive into work. Turn the radio off. Pause. Breathe. Pay attention to your breath. It's amazing how quickly you can gain clarity. The second lesson is really how to lead. Really defining what leadership means for you. Leadership in my corporate days meant hustling, hitting numbers, being on 24/7, And I thought that's what success was. That's what it was required. But it left me completely drained, and it cost me my marriage. What I learned is that true leadership starts with leading yourself first. When I shifted my focus from constant output to intentional action, rooted in my values, everything really started to change. I started asking for what I really wanted and what I needed. I even asked to move to another state with the same company that made me feel more comfortable. And it happened. And then I also had to ask, because they closed that office down, to move back to Illinois where the home office was. I could have just let it go and not had a job, but I asked for what I wanted and what I needed. Leadership isn't about doing it all. It's about doing what matters. It's about setting boundaries, delegating when you can, and focusing on the tasks that align with your goals and values, and asking for what you want. This week, ask yourself, what would it look like to lead with intention instead of perfection? Jot down some of the ways that you can take aligned action in your work this week. The third lesson is to empower yourself and tap into your unique strengths. I've always been the one to lead with compassion, collaboration, and what I now know is intuition. These were my greatest strengths. It was a huge asset for most of my career. I was complimented by several of the leaders in our company about being able to outwork so many other people. I remember somebody saying, "Kathryn, you alone can do work of 4 other people." And that was really exciting. And getting that unexpected raise because of that was very exciting as well. Then some leadership styles changed, and I really tried to toughen up and fit better into that mold of what was considered to be a successful leader. I tried to be more assertive and competitive and always in control. But that mold wasn't for me, and I got called out because of being too quiet and asking too many questions. Needless to say, my defenses went up, and I was not as productive because I didn't know how to play this good old boys game, nor did I want to. My success came from tapping into my feminine strength and leading with my grounded power of compassion, collaboration, and intuition. Your strengths are your superpowers. What comes naturally to you is exactly what makes you stand out. Reflect on what you're already good at and ask yourself, how can I lead in a way that feels authentic and sustainable? Now, we've talked about heal by calming your system down, leading by really defining what your leadership looks like, and then setting those boundaries and asking for what you want, and empowering yourself to leverage your unique strengths, regardless of what's going on in the good old boys system. Remember, burnout isn't the end of the road. It's a turning point, and it's an invitation to rebuild in a way that honors your energy, your values, and your leadership style. Now, if this episode resonates with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Send me an email or message me on social media. I'd love to hear from you. And if you haven't done so already, check out my Dragon Woman quiz at dragonwomanquiz.com and discover your Dragon Woman type. Thank you for joining me on today's episode. Until next time, keep healing, keep leading, and keep empowering yourself. You've got this. Thanks for listening to the Resilient Woman Leadership Podcast. Remember to take my Dragon Woman quiz at dragonwomanquiz.com. In just 2 minutes, this fun quiz will reveal your Dragon Woman and connect you to the resources so that you can leverage her power for good. And if you've enjoyed this episode, subscribe now so you can hear more inspiring stories from other resilient, wise women who will uplift and inspire you. Your review really matters to me, so please gift me back by reviewing this episode. Want more Kathryn? You can find me at energy-pathways.com.